host tonight as we welcome you to beautiful St. Peter's Field and the 25th annual Abbott Financial Management Old-Time Baseball Game. Tonight's game is being played as a fundraiser for the American Heart Association and in memory of Steve Harris, the longtime hockey writer for the Boston Herald. We're particularly honored that Steve's two sons, Jack and Matt, are playing in tonight's game. So let's begin by introducing Jack, Matt, and the other uniformed participants in tonight's game. Also with me tonight and signing for our hearing impaired fans is Katie Lewis. First, we ask the non-starters for the Andergeg Family Athletics and the Abbott Financial Management Angels to assemble in the infield. And now, the coaches and starting lineups. First for the Andergeg Athletics, including Brian Carey, sponsored by Frank Steakhouse. Orazio Azzarello, sponsored by T-Mobile. Owen Carlson, sponsored by Jose's Restaurant. Mike Powers, sponsored by Rick Rossi. And Carl Rodriguez, sponsored by CG Electric. And now the starting lineup for the Andergeg Athletics. Leading off and playing first base from Sudbury and Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute and sponsored by the Boston Herald, Matt Harris. Batting second and playing third base from Sudbury and Merrimack College, sponsored by Kyle Ashley, Dan Niederman, and Patrick Mullen, Jack Harris. Batting third and playing right field, one of the great defensemen in hockey history. He won the Stanley Cup in Colorado, but he'll always be remembered around here for his many seasons with the Boston Bruins, sponsored by Descenza Diamonds, playing in the old-time baseball game, so we gave him an old-time number, number 7, Hall of Famer Ray Bourque. Batting fourth, left fielder, sponsored by Greg Galius, a former member of the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals, as well as a member of the 2018 United States Olympic hockey team, Chris Bourque. And to continue the Bourque family reunion, batting fifth and playing center field, sponsored by Anthony Galluccio. He broke our hearts when he appeared on the ice as a member of the New York Rangers. Here's Ryan Bourque. Batting sixth and doing the catching from North Andover and Roger Williams University, sponsored by Eastern Standard, which in addition to being our concessionaires at the old-time game is a great place to grab a bite before or after the game. Welcome, Chris Bosco. Batting seventh from Woburn and Assumption College, sponsored by Polar Beverages, which has graciously provided soft drinks being sold tonight, shortstop Dylan Coster. Batting eighth and playing second base from Cambridge and the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth, sponsored by Patty's Lunch, Eric Ramirez. Batting ninth and pitching from Lawrence and St. John's University, sponsored by John Miller, right-hander Sam Lara. And now for the Abbott Financial Management Angels, let's meet the coaches, all of whom are former players in the old-time baseball game. Dan Finley, who's sponsored by Corsair Logistics, the Red Line Freight Systems, and the Finley family. James Greeley, sponsored by the Greeley family. And Alex Lee, sponsored by Jose's Mexican Restaurant, which is just 2 blocks down the street and open late tonight. And now the starting lineup, leading off from Duxbury and Northeastern, sponsored by Artie Stearns Memorial Fund, center fielder Cam Walsh. Batting second and playing shortstop from Revere and American International College, shortstop Matt Costanza. Batting third and playing third base from Framingham and Sports Radio 93.7 WEEI, sponsored by Frank's Steakhouse, which is also just a short walk from here, doing seatings until 10. Here's the current afternoon drive time host on 93.7 WEEI, former Red Sox infielder Lou Merloni. Batting fourth, the catcher, just finished 5 seasons with the San Francisco Giants farm system, is now living in Los Angeles, pursuing a career as screenwriting and an acting career, sponsored by Bill and Eileen Noveline, Matt Perret. Batting fifth, playing first base from Williamsville, New York, and the Alabrandes Club of the Yawkey League, sponsored by the Maha family, Gordy Gronkowski. Batting sixth from Boston and Tufts University, sponsored by Jay Hurd, infielder Malcolm Namakoff. Batting seventh and playing left field from Cambridge and Assumption College, sponsored by Cambridge's own Anthony Galluccio, Philip Gaines. Batting eighth and playing second base from Cambridge and Merrimack College, sponsored by Cambridge City Manager Lou DiPasquale, the 2016 Old-Time Baseball Game MVP, Cam Monagle. And batting ninth, he won 200 games during his illustrious Major League career, was a member of 2 World Series championship teams with the Red Sox. He's now a popular pre- and post-game analyst on NESN, sponsored by R.C. LaFawn, the old knuckleballer himself, Tim Wakefield. And the umpires for tonight's game: in his 12th year, crew chief Dave Tresca; in his 5th year, Scott Cassidy; in his 10th year, Brendan McCarthy; and umpiring for the 22nd year, Old-Time Baseball Game third base umpire Roger Morrison. Serving as the trainer tonight from Suffolk University, Jeff Stone. And our bat boy tonight is Jack Levine of Newton. And the pitcher's mound, it's slippery. Please welcome Andrew Noveline of the Abbott Financial Management and the Old-Time Baseball Game to talk a little bit about the people that helped put the game together. Andrew?
Thank you, Glenn. Right now, I really want to just talk about the city of Cambridge. They have taken ownership of this game. They do an amazing job with detail, getting this field together. I mean, there's so many people behind the scenes that help us out throughout the year to make this game happen and in this beautiful ballpark. But right now, I'd like to introduce from the city of Cambridge, Mayor Mark McGovern.
Good evening, everybody. I got hecklers. That's all right. I'm not an elected official unless I get hecklers. You can here to have a good time tonight? Come on. Come on. All right. I really want to start by thanking our DPW workers, our police officers, our firefighters, our Park and Recreation Department, everybody who is making sure that we are having a safe time tonight. So can we please put our hands together for all the people behind the scenes who are making this happen? I also want to thank all of the volunteers tonight, because this is not an event that can happen on its own. And so all the folks who are working the tables, who helped with the sponsorships, who did all the behind the scenes work to get today's event together. Can we please have a round of applause for them as well? And as was mentioned, Cambridge has really embraced this event. We love it. It is such an important part of the fabric of our community. And sometimes somebody who, the person who tends to be out in front is someone who thanks a lot of people but doesn't necessarily get the thanks themselves. So 25 years ago, and this event started, it's raised over $1 million for various charities. It has brought our community together. Can we please just put our hands together for, he lives in Somerville now, but he's really just a kid from Cambridge, Steve Buckley. So with that, I don't want to take up any more time. Thank you all so much for being here. Enjoy yourself tonight. Thank you, Buck. Thank you to all you guys. And you're lucky I'm not playing tonight. That's a joke because I, didn't make it past Farm League. But thank you all for being here. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay, now I want to bring out Ben Weiss to present the 2018 Greg Montalbano Award.
Thanks, everybody. This award was created after Greg passed in 2009. He was a Red Sox Pitcher of the Year, some years in the minor league, and throughout the first pitch year when he was being treated for cancer. So as a way to remember Greg, we created this award. This is the 9th year we've given it out. And the award is given to someone who exemplifies Greg's spirit, competitiveness, and good nature. And while no one from Greg's family could be here tonight, they want to send their congratulations to this year's recipient, Matt Paré from Boston College and the San Francisco Giants. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, now we will present the Bill Noveline Award. Just a little history about this game. It was going to be a one-shot deal. Buckley put it together in '94 because of the strike, just to get some baseball being played and raise a little money. And then the next year, my father, Bill Noveline, called him up and said, "Hey, when's the game again?" And he said, "Oh, that was a one-shot deal." He said, "All right, well, Abbott Financial Management, our company, will put up the money. Let's have another game." And 25 years later, here we are playing the 25th annual. So every year, there is so many people that volunteer and behind the scenes that help put this whole thing together. None of us are event planners, but every year we string it together. So every year we like to recognize one of those people that really goes above and beyond to make this game work. So tonight's recipient of the Bill Noveline Award is our announcer. Come on out here, Glenn Kuchar.
Thank you very much. I was sort of hoping this was something I could eat. But it is a great pleasure for me to have been part of a game that has raised tens of thousands of dollars of money for worthy charities on behalf of children and families. So thank you very much for this. Before continuing with the program and the baseball game, I want to introduce a couple of special guests. You may know our next guest as one of the country's finest comedians, or as a stellar character actor on both television and the big screen. Around here, we know him as the captain of the 1973 Cambridge High and Latin football team. Please welcome someone everybody knows, Lenny Clark.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you. Oh my God, you're gonna have a hard time with me. A beautiful girl with tattoos. How do you do that? Okay. Now, I'm gonna bring out Ray, right? Am I gonna bring out Ray? Andrew? We're gonna bring out Ray, right? Yeah, all right. I've got tons of things to say, but there's kids here, so I can't say any of them. And it would be really hard for her to get all the curses in at one time. So, thank you all for coming. This is great. And we have Ray Borg here. And Ray, it's so great to see you wearing number 7. And it's fabulous. I can't get over you doing this. It's so hot. Thank you for doing this.
Well, it's great to be wearing that number again. You know, it was given to me first year in Boston, and then it was taken away from me. You know, somebody else wore it before me, this guy called the Italian stallion, Phil Esposito. Well, it was the old-time baseball game, so I thought I'd start with number 7, but I got to go back to what I finished with.
What do you mean?
You'll see.
Oh, hey, all right. How about that? Let's see you do that, right? Strip off or whatever. Hey, all right. Look at this. Fantastic. All right. Hall of Fame, Ray Borg. And what are we going to do with this shirt?
Let's get some money for it.
You better believe it. During the second, are we going to do this during the second inning? Second inning. During the second inning, the end of the second inning, I'm going to come out and I'm going to auction off this shirt, but we're going to keep things moving right along. And we'll give it back to Andrew.
All right.
Thanks, Ray.
All right, thanks, Lenny. Okay, now, as we all know, we're raising money tonight for the American Heart Association. So, representing the American Heart Association, please welcome Kathy Needham, Vice President of Development for the American Heart Association.
On behalf of the American Heart Association, I'd like to thank the Harris family, Oldtime Baseball, the City of Cambridge, the volunteers, Sean Flanagan, and everyone who is here tonight. We're honored to be the recipient of the proceeds, which will be invested back into the community in schools, hospitals, work sites, and you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kathy. So as part of the American Heart Association, this game is really in memory of Steve Harris, who is a longtime hockey writer for the Boston Herald. Steve passed away earlier this year following heart surgery. I'd like to bring out Kathy Harris to speak, representing the Harris family.
I'm going to let Jack talk.
I'm Jack Harris. First, I just want to thank everyone for coming out today. I first played in this game 10 years ago. I was a freshman in high school, and I played for 3 seasons, and I know every summer was the first thing my dad was looking forward to coming out to see. So for Steve Bucky to think to honor my dad in this way, I know that'd mean a ton to him. And just the last 6 months been an unbelievable outpour of love and support for the 3 of us here. So we couldn't thank you guys enough, and let's have a good night.
Hold on, Glenn's gonna come back out here.
Tonight we're going to invite Kathy Harris to throw out the first pitch. We've imported a catcher who was as familiar with the fine art of fair hockey as the hockey fair coverage we got from Steve Harris over the years. Our honorary catcher scored 448 goals during his 14 seasons in the National Hockey League, 12 of them with the Bruins. You'll be cheering him at the Garden this season when the Bruins retire his number 16. That's Rick Middleton, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here to perform the national anthem is a Cambridge native, the Deputy Superintendent of the Cambridge Police Department, who last year performed God Bless America at the Oldtime baseball game, after which she was offered and accepted a lifetime contract to make an annual appearance at our celebration of baseball. Please welcome Pauline Wells.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now the two words we have all been waiting for.
Play ball.
Thank you. We're going to let the pitchers warm up for a few minutes. And as the pitchers are warming up and the players return to their dugouts, I want to bring Lenny Clark back up here.
Right, guys. Have a good game.
Lenny?
Hey, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for showing up for the game. You're so generous. But we have 10 guys who played, who won the Lou Tompkins tournament, the best kids in the state, and they're going to be selling the programs. So if you don't mind, go right out to the folks, fellas, if you would. Buy a program off the kids while the pitchers are warming up. Somebody, what, $5? Is that what we want? $5. Anyone want to give us $5 for some programs? Raise your hand. I'll have to. All right, go into the stands, kids. Go. These guys are the champions, Lou Tompkins champions. They just won the state division. Let them know they're welcome. Give them $5 for a program. We normally don't sell them, but we really want to raise as much money as we can for the organization. And once again, thank you for making this such a successful event. 25 years. 25 years. that will apply programs all the way to the farm. The kids are going to ask you, hey, I didn't ask you. I asked you to sell the program. Come on, get the program, sell the program. I mean, I knew you guys, the well, center down, the thank you. They come down to do it, they get it on the food. All right. Ryan, did you start already? You just start the ball. You should be ready to see you guys play. Thank you, girls. Shoot the goal. Now, all the way. That's all I do. Yeah.